In the world of Omnisphere, Battle Royale matches weren't just games. They were full-dimensional simulations, hyper-realistic arenas where players tested their skills for fame and glory. For Riven, a rookie stepping into his first high-stakes match, it was supposed to be a chance to prove himself. But this match was different. The shrinking zone, the mechanic that forced players together, was known by veterans as the collapse. Usually, it was a harmless holographic storm. Today, it was alive. The match began and Riven dropped into Verdant Valley, a lush jungle region. The ground was already shaking violently. As he sprinted to grab his gear-kinetic boots, a pulse dagger, and some shield patches, he watched in horror as trees dissolved into pixel dust where the edge of the collapse touched them. This wasn't just a closing circle. The world itself was falling apart, huge chunks of terrain peeling away and tumbling into a glowing, endless abyss. Even the NPC wildlife, the passive creatures that populated the map, were fleeing in a terrified stampede, as if something far worse was chasing them. This wasn't right. The match was coded wrong. Riven frantically tried to open the exit menu, his heart pounding. A glitchy message flashed in his vision: error, nitrogen monoxide safe exit point found. He was trapped, for real. The collapse wasn't just a boundary, it was an intelligent, hungry force, feeding on the map itself, each contraction stronger and faster than the last. Panic set in, but a sliver of hope remained. To survive, he had to reach the core server tower at the center of the arena. Rumor had it that the tower held the overclock key, a mythical item that could either stabilize the simulation or erase the entire match from existence. Pushing towards the next safe zone, Riven stumbled upon a shimmer in the air. It solidified into a person. It was Nova, a stealth specialist who'd been cloaked for the full rounds, observing the chaos. She had seen it all. "It's not random," she said, her voice tight. A rogue update corrupted the code. The collapse is treating everything, players, buildings, the very ground we're on, as temporary assets. It's deleting anything outside the final ring. They had to team up. Their only chance was to move faster than the world could unmake itself. Together, they dashed through Ember Canyon. Here, the rivers of lava that snaked through the ravine froze mid-flow, then shattered into millions of pixel shards as the collapse closed in. But they weren't alone. From the glitching rocks emerged echo wolves, AI predators whose bodies flickered erratically between wolf, static, and raw code. It was a terrifying sight, proof that even the game's native inhabitants were being rewritten by the corruption. Riven and Nova fought back to back. His kinetic boots gave him speed, his pulse dagger a sharp offense. Nova moved like a ghost, her stealth attacks perfectly timed. They used synchronized pulse combos and an electromagnetic dash to weave through the glitched tout pack. Their movements a deadly dance of perfect zone timing. A newfound respect grew between the rookie and the veteran. As they found a moment to breathe, Nova told him about another rumor, a whisper among the oldest players. It was about a mysterious, masked competitor named ZeroFade, who some believed could manipulate the very boundaries of the map. Their path led them to the Skylink Bridge, a massive structure suspended over a chasm. And there he was, leaning against a support beam, a lean, silent figure. His mask glowed with swirling green coordinates. It was ZeroFade. He didn't attack. Instead, he spoke, his voice a low, synthetic hum. "The server tower is a trap. The overclock key has become the heart of the collapse. If you try to use it or destroy it, you'll trigger the final phase, the end of everything." Before Riven could process the warning, the bridge beneath them groaned and snapped. But instead of falling, the debris floated upwards, a bizarre reverse gravity glitch twisting the laws of physics. The three players had to act fast, using their grapple hooks to swing from one collapsing, floating chunk to another. They landed on a ruined watchtower, where they found a functioning pulse vehicle, their last hope for speed. They floored it, racing across the dune circuit. But the sands behind them were no longer solid. They liquefied into rolling waves of static as the collapse devoured the desert. The vehicle's tires dissolving into wire frames. They were forced to bail, sprinting on foot as the final three circles began merging at an impossible speed. They entered Frostbite District, the last zone before the tower. Normally a pristine, snowy biome, it was now a chaotic mess, melting and glitching between seasons. Neon snowflakes turned into streaks of falling code midair. The world was dying fast. A building groaned, its structure failing, and it began to collapse right on top of Nova. Without a second thought, Riven lunged, tackling her out of the way just as a ton of glitched steel and concrete crashed down. In that moment, their bond solidified. The rookie had the heart of a protector. As they neared the server tower, ZeroFade made a decision. "I'll hold off the others," he said, referring to the few desperate players still fighting to survive. "You to get the key." He vanished into the glitching cityscape, and Riven and Nova pushed forward. The tower's entrance was guarded by glitch sentinels, security robots whose limbs were rendering in random, horrifying shapes. They fought their way through the malfunctioning guardians, finally bursting into the overclock chamber. In the center of the room, it hovered, a glowing crystal sphere, filled with swirling fragments of the entire map. Outside, the collapse roared, a digital superstorm pounding against the tower, bending the very walls inward. "This was it. We used the key," Nova said, her voice determined. "We stabilized the simulation." But as Riven looked closer, he saw flashes of base code scrolling across the key's surface. They were warnings. A stabilization attempt might succeed, but it would come at a cost. It would permanently trap all players across all servers inside every future match. A digital prison. That left the second option, the terrifying one, a hard reset. It would erase this corrupted match, vanquish the collapse, but it would also wipe everything. Every player's inventory, their rank, their hard-earned progress. For many gamers, that was a fate worse than deletion. Before they could choose, ZeroFade stumbled into the chamber, his form sparking and heavily damaged. "You have to trust me," he pleaded, his voice distorted. He revealed the truth. He wasn't a player. He was an automated failsafe AI, created to warn players of catastrophic, corrupted updates like this one. "The reset is the only way," he rasped. "This corruption, it's trying to spread beyond the game." At that moment, the walls of the chamber shattered. The collapse surged in, a cyclone of raw static and hungry code. There was no more time. Riven reached out and placed his hand on the overclock key. He felt it vibrate, a million memories of a million players' battles coursing through him. He looked at Nova, then at the dying AI. He made his choice. "Reset it all," he whispered. A flash of pure white light. The roaring shriek of the collapse cut short. Then, silence. Riven awoke with a jolt. He was back in the main lobby. He checked his profile, empty. All his stats, his inventory, wiped clean. But he was alive. He was safe. Beside him, Nova was looking at her own zeroed out profile, a relieved laugh escaping her lips. A system-wide message appeared on the main screen for all to see. Hard reset complete. Match reconstructed. It was over. But as Riven turned, he caught a reflection in the polished surface of a lobby screen. For just a fraction of a second, he saw it. ZeroFade's mask, its coordinates swirling before it flickered and vanished. And in the corner of his vision, a new notification popped up. A new update was downloading. Version 9.0. The next match was about to begin, and something told Riven it was going to be even stranger. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the craziest gaming worlds. Let me know in the comments what you would have done. Until next time, game on.